Okay, in part 2 of solving equations, we're going to have to deal with some things that are going to give us some real curveballs like this. So first of all, one thing to kind of consider is that I have all these fractions that are really on this side, and I'm going to have to get them all together. So if that were true, and I were looking at these, I'm going to have to find a common denominator, which is going to be 5x. Because you'd have to assume that one's over 1. So this first one's going to have to get multiplied by 5x in the top and bottom. This one's going to have to get multiplied by 5. And this one's going to have to get multiplied by x. So 5 times 3 is going to be 15, and I'm going to bring the x down. Then 8 and times 5 is 40. And then x times 3 is going to be 3x. Equals 3 over 2x. Oops, there's my x. And then these two I'm going to put together, which is going to give me 18x plus 40 over 5x equals 3 over 2x. Okay, let me move this up a little bit. Okay, remember, now we're at the phase where we're going to start to go through and get some things that are alike together. So we're cross multiply. So if I do that, 5 times 3 be 15 with that x. The other side's going to be 2x, 18x plus 40. Okay, so if I multiply this all through, 2x times 16x is 36x squared. 2x times 40 is 80x equals 15x. Now, if I look across the board, I can see that they all have an x in common. So I'm going to get rid of an x on every one of them. So 36x plus 80 equals 15. Subtract 80. 6x equals negative 65. Divide by 36. And in order to solve this, I'm going to have to make it a mixed number. So 36 would go into negative 30, or go into negative 65, negative 1 time, with 29 left over. Okay, now, perimeter. Perimeter is a distance around. And they're saying that the perimeter on this one's 144. So if I were to add all three of these sides together, I should get 144. So these three would be 3x. If I take 49 and 47 and add that together, I'm going to be left with 96 equals 144. Subtract 96. Divide by 3. So x equals 16. Now in this one, area, remember area is length times width. So they tell you your area is 160. Length in this one is 16, and width is 5x. So 5 times 16 would be 80. Divide both sides by 80. We get x equals 2. Okay, now Jason's planning to enlarge a rectangular space with the length 4 and the width of 12, so that the new area is 132 centimeters squared. So that means that if I do length times width in this one, only difference is length is going to be 4 plus x times 12. is going to equal 132. So I remember distributing. So 12 times 4 is 48. 12 times x is 12x equals 132. Subtract 48. So 12x equals 84. Divide by 12. So x equals 7. So this enlargement would have to be by 7 for this to work. Okay, now decimals you handle the same way. I have to get rid of this negative 4.5, so I'm going to divide both sides by that. So x equals 2.9. Okay, on this one we have to distribute. So 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 1.4 is 4.2. Now if I look at the x's, the 2x is smaller, so I'm going to subtract 2x. And then subtract 4.2. So I get x is 4.7. Eliminate the decimals by multiplying by a power of 10. So that means take the whole thing, multiply every number by 10. So 0.6x times 10 would be 6x. 0.7 times 10 would be 7. 3.1 times 10 would be 31. So subtract 7. Divide by 6. X equals 4.